Time now for Weekend Property.
I thought something was going to happen there. We are on top of it this morning. We are so quick.
I love that little jingle. Now, buying a property can be daunting, whether it's a 4-bedroom house or a small unit. The first step is saving up for a deposit.
From household budgets to money management systems, many Australians struggle to save. Property expert Ben Kingsley has co-written a new book called Make Money Simple Again, with the tips and tricks to achieve financial peace in less than 10 minutes a month. And Ben joins us this morning.
Good morning, Ellie.
It's nice to actually have you in the studio.
Yes,
for a
good
change.
to be here.
Now look, household debt in Australia, it's a massive issue.
Yeah.
We've got one of the highest levels. I think it's second only to Switzerland.
Yeah.
So clearly we are no good at saving. Why is that?
Well, I think budgeting of the past is no longer possible because we've got a digital cashless economy. So what's happening is we might have set up some spreadsheets, but we've got instant access to our money. And when we do that, we're tapping and going and we're transferring and wiring money. So we've got no discipline in terms of how we organise and manage our money.
Could you say that differently? I mean, are we no good at saving, or are we going too much? Are we overreaching with our debt?
Oh, we certainly are, because we're, with the plastic economy that we've got access to credit. So our grandparents are the best money managers we've seen in history because they used to get their pay slips and they used to manage cash and they used to put it into jars. And if you didn't have that money, you couldn't overspend. So from that point of view, that's the way we need to get back to. But the reality is we now do have digital money and digital banking. So we've got to organise our money back into those jars, but we call them virtual jars. So you have your primary offset account or your high interest savings account, you get all your money going into there, and then you organise your money. And if you can do that, you can trap more surplus and you can stop the overspending.
So, but what you really need to be doing though is keeping an eye on what you're spending and to be aware of what's coming in and what's going out.
Yeah, so but most people can't do that, Ali. In terms of what they're actually doing is they might have expense items, but what they're not doing is organising their money. So as an example, we've got a 7-day float model. So you organise your money and then you work out what you're going to spend for that 7 days. Now you wire that money to your living and lifestyle account, and you pay yourself on a Thursday, just like our grandparents used to do. And if you come to the next Tuesday and you've only got $10 left, you've got to make that work. You've got to open the pantry, you've got to make a meal out of that. Because what we normally do is just go and do another shop. And it's that slippage, that money that's slipping out is not allowing us to trap that and pay our debt down.
So how do you rein in that discretionary spending?
Yeah, so the best way to do it is look at your money and say you've got essential and discretionary. So every expense item you need to look at and say, even when you go grocery shopping, you might have the staples that you have to buy, but ultimately they're still, in my case, it's the dark chocolate and almonds. That's the sort of discretionary spending. So if you can work through your expense items and trap that and then keep to that habit. Make sure you're looking after that money, and then the rest of it takes care of itself. You just start getting into a routine, you check in on a monthly basis, and you can see that surplus being trapped.
So realistically, how long would you expect it to take a normal family to save for a deposit for a home?
Yeah, so if we're sort of talking about double household income and we're earning, say, 100,000, a good rule of thumb is to try and trap 20% of that. So that means that over a course of 3 to 4 or 5 years, you're going to have $60,000, $80,000 or $100,000. Now that is a good amount of money to be able to put a deposit down on a property to move forward.
All right, Ben, thanks for coming in. You got a new book. If you want some more tips and tricks, folks.
Can't see you.
Right there. Make Money Simple Again.
And all it takes is 10 minutes a month. Thanks, Ben.
Yeah.
Cheers.
Thanks, mate.